But this is how you go about calculating values for the amounts of flow that you need. Now the book has a couple of little shortcut methods to go about doing it, but you really need to see how the numbers crunch out to see how you get to your result. Okay? So the black would be if this were 24. The numbers in black would represent the value if you used a 24-hour water window. Now, would it matter if I had a 5-day cycle? If, say this was a field of apples, and I could get across it every 5 days. Would it matter as far as the gallons per minute applied? It would not, because we lose the same amount per day unless this number changes, which it probably will slightly up and down day to day. The consumptive use on a daily basis is going to fluctuate slightly, simply because every day is a little different than the previous day or the next day. But if you average out 30/100ths of an inch consumptive use over a 5-day period, you would still have the same water demand. It's just that you would only be doing it over a 5-day cycle, which would be pretty typical in an orchard. We might get out on an alfalfa field, it might be a 10-day cycle. If we're using hand line and wheel line, it might take us 10 days to get across the field before we come back and water again. Well, we know that we're going to use so much water each day, the value is going to be the same. It's just how we go about reapplying it. We're going to have to set it there for a longer period of time to put the water back. We might sit out in an alfalfa field, we might end up sitting in one spot for 12 hours irrigating. Here on this golf course, it might take 10 minutes every day to put back the water at a very high intensity rate. So we just have to know how much we have to put back at a given time. Now we can calculate, say we had 10 days and we averaged this value. We'll go one step further here. Say this was 0.30 inches, and it was a 10-day period. We'll say that was the average for a 10-day period, okay? And we're doing a wheel line, a 10-day rotation on the wheel line, and we looked at how we set up the wheel line. We'd water a set at a time all the way across the field, roll back, start again. And let's say we're running 12-hour sets. So we call them a set when it's sitting there watering. So in this case, we're running 20 valves. We're going to move this wheel line 20 times across the field and then roll back and start over at the top of the field and come back 20 valves down and roll back. That's what we're saying, and it's going to water for half a day. When it stops there and water, it's going to be a half a day watering. And that's really not quite true. That 12-hour, we say we do it, but it's really about 11.5, because it takes us about a half an hour to shut her down, drain her, and roll it to the next set. We had a little downtime out there in the field, so we got to be thinking about that too. We know we have to put back 0.30 inches of water. And let's think of all of these in gross. We've taken into the effect the efficiency already, so we know we have to put this much water gross back into the ground, so we don't get into the efficiency part of it.